There is a way to peace, a way to have peace, which is absence of conflict. It is rest. It is even joy, because peace, joy, and righteousness, that is the kingdom. And that's in Romans 14. But we're going to look at two verses in Philippians. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. And it's about how to have peace. So let's read this. He says, be anxious for nothing. Now, anxiety is really a lack of peace. Anxiety is stress and worry, and it's fretting, and it's the what ifs and being concerned and upset. And one of the things I remember about anxiety is there's a relationship in anxiety with time. And it's a wrong relationship, because it leaves out the very presence and the character and the faithfulness of your Father in heaven, of Jesus who is in you, of God himself. We imagine, and this is where anxiety and fear is in imagination. We imagine things that what will be, what might be, and we get worked up over it because we're imagining it. But notice in your imagination that it causes and creates anxiety. You are imagining a future that doesn't include God. Because if it includes God, according to his revelation in his word, who is with you, he is with you and never forsakes you and never leaves you, and he is there as your help, ever-present help in time of need. If you imagine your future with him as who he is, there is an anxiety, there is peace, there is tranquility, there is joy, because you are held and you are kept. So when Paul writes this to the Philippians in chapter 4 and verse 6, he says, be anxious for nothing. Don't entertain and dwell upon those imaginations. And then he goes on. But, so this is the contrary. This is what his instruction is actually to do, to not be anxious. This is how you be anxious for nothing, that you don't entertain and embrace and hold on to anxiety. He says, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Now, prayer and supplication, we could study out the words. It's not just a list of things that you want, but it can include that. But prayer and supplication is interaction, it's relationship, it is conversation. Prayer so much is for you to get yourself, your mind, your heart aligned with him. And so when we approach God and through prayer, we're talking to him, we're having a conversation, we're asking questions, we're receiving instruction and hearing from him. This is what prayer is. This is this connection in this relationship. Remember, we've been invited into this relationship with him. And we actually grow in that and maintain that by communication, talking, conversing, spending time. So he says, in order to not be anxious, talk with God. In everything, talk with him. And he says, with thanksgiving. Now, we are thankful for the things that we have, that we've been given, that we possess, that we have a hold on to. And the beauty of this is when God makes a statement, when God says something, he makes a promise, because he doesn't lie. He can't lie. So when he says, you are my beloved, you are, even if you feel different, you are, because he said it. When he says that you are holy, blameless, and above reproach in Colossians chapter 1, he means that's what you are. When he says that you have the righteousness of Jesus, you have it. It doesn't matter what it seems like, feels like, looks like, because you have it. And we are to be thankful, and we are thankful for the things that we have. Sometimes we don't express thanksgiving because we don't believe or see that we do have it. If God has spoken it and he said it, you do have it. So he says, be anxious for nothing. Spend time in conversation, communication, communion with God, with thanksgiving. See what you already have, because he has spoken it and it is so. And then he says, verse 7, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. You can't even know this peace by yourself. He says, the peace of God, which surpasses far beyond all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through are in Christ Jesus. It's through that communication, that union, that communion with him and thanksgiving, because I know he said it is true, and I can thank him for it, regardless of what it looks like, whether I see it or feel it. And then in that place, peace will that I can't even understand, can't grasp, will guard me, will hold me, will keep me. This is the way to peace. This is the way to a lack of anxiety. And it is about communion, union, relationship, and thanksgiving with our eternal Father.